Yo, 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 what is up, guys? It is your boy Rug Pull Guru here to bring you some more alpha. We're going to be talking about the NAT project, Bitnats. Very unique, awesome project that is able to use the DMT framework as intended. So we're going to talk about how to mint a Bitnat, what Bitnat should you mint, and what are we looking for. So people are talking about these patterns. Where do you find these patterns? Where are we looking? How do you mint a Bitnat? And we're going to go over all of that in this video. But quickly, we do need to discuss a few things, just some basic Bitcoin attributes. So an epoch, okay, what is an epoch? An epoch is 2016 blocks, guys. So every 2016 blocks, Bitcoin will determine a new bit number. This is going to be based on how much hash power is going on. Is there an increase in hash power, a decrease in hash power, right? And that is going to change the difficulty of those 2016 blocks. And then the bit number will change once those 2016 blocks have completed based on the last 2016 blocks, and so on and so on and so on. So every 2016 blocks, we should get a different bit number. Those bit numbers are where we are looking for these patterns. Okay, so this pattern 11 that everybody's talking about, we'll show you exactly how to find that. But one thing to note is the first 16 epochs, so blocks 1 to 32,255, have this same difficulty because the first 15 epochs were mined by Satoshi alone, so the difficulty did not change. But once other people started getting involved, now we have the bit numbers changing every epoch. So how do you see the pattern? Where do you see these bit numbers? You can go over to bitmap.community. Bitmap.community is probably one of the best places to get Bitcoin block data. We'll just look up 0 here, block 0, right? It tells us the bit number. It's right here. This is our hexadecimal. It's already been converted to a hexadecimal for these bitnats. For looking for the patterns, we do want the hexadecimal version. If you are given the hexadecimal version and you want to find the decimal, which may be needed for a different type of nat, you could copy this, type in maybe hex to decimal, and then make sure it's hex to decimal, convert, and it'll give you here, this is the bit numerical number. So this is the numerical. Sometimes you'll hear numerical. This is what they're talking about. And then hex, this is what we're talking about. But for bitnat specific, we're looking for hex. Bitmap community already has it in hex. So we don't have to do any conversion. We can just take what the number is here to look for the pattern. The patterns, the current nats that exist in these bitnats is going to be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 10, and 11. 11 being the most rare of all of these current nats that exist. So let's find a bitnat number that has 11 in it. And how will we go about doing that? As we discussed, the first 32,255 blocks are all going to be the same. And you could test it out. You could look up 20,001. It is the same right there. And then the next epoch 17, is going to start on 32,256, right? Because these are in 2016 intervals. We scroll down here, we have a different bit number, right? And if we were to go one less, 32255, it's back to that original bit number. So block 0 all the way to 32255 are going to have this same bit number here. The next interval, right, which we looked at, it still doesn't have an 11. And what we could do is we could take this number here. We could add 2016 to it. So let's go 32256 plus 2016. It's going to give us 34272. This is our bit number, our hexadecimal for the next 2015 blocks. At 2016, it's going to give us a new one. We still don't see an 11 here, and we can continually add 2016 onto this number and retry and retry. I already found the next closest one. I've already found the first one to have 11 in it. It's epoch 25. Epoch 25 starts on block 48384, so we can just punch that into there. And right here, you can see 11. So we can see right there, we have pattern 11 inside of there. We also have maybe a pattern 1 inside of there, and that's it. So we got 2 patterns out of the current nats that exist. So let's say we say, hey, we like this. We have our pattern in it, the most rare pattern. We want to mine this bitnat, but first is first. So we need to make sure that nobody else has tried to mine this bitnat. How do we check that out? We can either check it on Genie data or we can check it on Unisat. Going for the search function text, search here. I'm going to use Genie data here /ordinals, but what we'll do is we'll type in that number there, and we'll type .bitnats with an S, and we'll search, and we'll see if anybody has gotten this bitnats. Yes, they have. So February 17th. So today, a few hours ago, somebody got this bitnat. So we do know that the next 2016 blocks are going to have that same bit here. So let's say we want to look up, we have 2,000 blocks to go. Let's say 49562. We're just trying to randomly find one, right? It still has the same bit pattern. So let's see that one, right? We're just randomly picking one to see if somebody has farmed this one. We'll look up that, and nope, nobody has got it. So this bitnat is available for mining, and then all we need to do is inscribe this exact phrase there. So we'll go back over to, you can go anywhere. You can go to Unisat, inscribe. We can do a text. We can do a single .bitnats. Make sure it's bitnats with an S. And then we could inscribe that text. Once that clears the mempool, we will own that bitnats. Okay, we will own that bitnat. So that bitnat, once you have ownership of it, you're able to mine nats from that bitnat. Okay, and this is the really cool function of bitnats, is that once you own the bitnats, you also own the nats that are inside of it. Nobody else can just type in this block number, type in, this nat, put in the ID, and just farm this nat from this bitnat unless they own it in their wallet. Which is a very, very cool function. It gives ownership, a real meaning. And in the future, when more nats come out, if the pattern exists, within your block, let's say a new pattern came out, 1C2, and every single block with 1C2 will have this new nat associated with it. Well, if you own that, then you can then inscribe that, give yourself mine that nat from your bitnat. Nobody else can mine it from you. Once you own it, you own it. You decide when to mine it. Nobody else can mine it. It's very, very cool because like we discussed, you own it. You have ownership. Nobody can come on your property. Nobody can come take what's yours from yours. You own it. So it's very cool. Unlike, let's say you owned a bitmap or something like that, somebody can just mine a nat token, from you. Let's say, nat DMT or any other type of current nat that currently exists. Well, not all of them, not the bitnats, but let's say bit, for example, you can mine bit from any block. It doesn't matter if you own the bitmap or it's not associated with the bitmap, right? It's separated. It has nothing to do with the bitmap. It's its own little thing off in its world. And what Bitnat is doing is kind of building an ecosystem on top of Bitnat. So in order to mine the nats from the bitnats, you need to own the bitnat. Then you can mine the nats. So right now it's the rush. It's the rush to get all the bitnats, and then mine all of these at your leisure. You don't have to worry about somebody coming and taking your nats from you. No, once you own the bitnat, you're good. You can mine them whenever you want to. And in the future, when any more come out or any unats come out, like natcats, where attributes are created from block numbers and they're associated with that specific block within the bitnat community, then you will be able to take ownership of whatever was assigned to your bitnat. Not anybody can just come through and whoever gets it first, they get it. No, you own it. It's your piece of digital matter, and nobody can come, on your property, let's say, and mine, without, they just can't, they don't own it. You own it. So you decide if you want to give up those rights, then you can sell your bitnat, and then somebody else can then mine it. And in this video, we're not going to talk about how to mine these nats from your bitnat. But in order for these nats to mine these nats from your bitnat, these patterns must exist, right? So if 11 exists, then you can mine this nat from your bitnat. Once you have received ownership of it, this, pattern 10 has to exist if you want to mine this nat from that. Some bitnats are going to have 1. Some bitnats might have 2. Some bitnats might have 3. It just depends on the pattern. Inside for this block right here, we have 11. So there's going to be an 11. Sorry, there's going to be an 11, and there's going to be a 1. So there's 2 different patterns here that exist within this map. It's going to be 11 and 1. In the future, though, the founder said they were going to release more nats and unats, as we talked about. So you could have this bitnat, and in the future, let's say 1C2 is a nat that gets formed in the bitnat community. Then if you have ownership of this bitmap, bitnat 49562, and then the new bitnat was created with a pattern of 1C2, you would then be able to mine at your leisure. You'll be able to mine that nat because you own this this bitnat. Currently, the most desirable pattern is 11. There's only 3% or so that have the pattern 11 in it out of the 830,000. So all of the blocks are going to have at least one of these patterns in it. And so in all of the blocks, you can get a bitnat from. So every single block you can get a bitnat from, as long as nobody else has claimed that bitnat. But it's just the nats within inside of that bitnat are going to differ based on the hexadecimal pattern, right? So the patterns that exist in this hexadecimal here on this bit field are going to vary based on the epoch, right? So as we discussed, the epochs will change these hexadecimals. These hexadecimal patterns will have different nats in them based on these patterns. So that's kind of what we're looking for, guys. So every 2016 blocks, looking for patterns, that exist, and that pretty much sums up what we're looking for. I hope this video helped you guys. I am going to be leaving a Bitcoin address in the description. If you guys would like to drop a donation, it helps a lot. And I do have a spreadsheet with all of the epochs and all of the hexadecimals that if donations get up to 0.1 BTC, I will be releasing this spreadsheet that shows all of the epochs, all of the hexadecimal patterns, and all of the decimal patterns for you guys. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.